Secretly recorded from deep inside the bowels of a decommissioned missile silo, we bring you the man, one single man who wants to bring light to the darkness and dark to the lightness. Although he's not always right, he is always certain. So now, with security protocols in place, the protesters have been forced back behind the barricades and the blast doors are now sealed. Without further delay, let me introduce you to the host of Hutcast, Mr. Tim Hutner.
Thank you, Sergeant-at-Arms. You can now take your post.
This week in Hutcast. Welcome back. I've been on the hiatus for a little bit. Wanted to get you an update on my COVID experience. And in the next segment, we're going to talk about GoFundMe and the Canadian truckers, GoFundMe, and their debacle of weaponizing a great system like that. Yes, in my opinion, they weaponized it. Stand by. Let's have a conversation about those two things on Hutcast on 2/6 of 2022. Stand by.
We hear a lot about air quality these days, so keeping your indoor equipment running clean and efficiently is important to your health. The experts at Dependable Heating and Cooling in Coon Rapids have been servicing the Twin Cities areas for more than 25 years. With the latest and most efficient technology available, they will repair or replace your equipment and keep your indoor air healthy and comfortable. Call 763-757-5040. Our team of experts is standing by, waiting to help you with all your indoor needs. Mention you've heard about this by listening to the Hutcast podcast, and you will receive a $50 off any repair. That's Dependable Heating and Cooling. 763-757-5040. Dependable Heating and Cooling.
Welcome to Hutcast. As I said in pre-roll, I'm going to get you up to speed on my experience with COVID. Isn't what the news portrayed it to be. Isn't what, I guess I had no expectations of what it was, other than I kept getting pounded into my head that it's going to be a pandemic of great proportion. And for the people that have gone through it, yes, I can understand. But here's my account on this. Got the sickness. Talked about it in a couple episodes ago. I told you that if I had a choice between the flu and this, I would take COVID. I'm still on that page. I'm not preempting I'd rather have one than the other. I'd rather have neither, to be honest with you. Yep, I'm going to be honest with you now. I wasn't honest with you before, but now I'm going to be honest with you. No, that's just what I say to people when they say I got to be honest with you. It just drives me nuts when they say it. But back on task. When you got the COVID, you got the symptoms they did say, but I got the opposite ones. As you remember in the other show, my smell was heightened, my taste was heightened, it was just a bunch of other opposite things. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I get it. But after a couple of weeks of this thing still lingering around, I had a short jaunt without taste. I had a short jaunt without smell, like a couple days of it. It's kind of just come and go at that point back then. But now I'm back to hypersensitive smelling. And I'm in a shop industry, so you smell all those chemicals and you get so used to and burnt out of it that you don't even notice it. But now I can I notice it. It's kind of a thing for me. The fact that they said it was tiring, for sure. I mean, I could feel the energy run out of you a lot faster. My treatments of Ivermectin, human-grade Ivermectin, which was, believe it or not, there are people out there that are not taking human-grade. They're taking animal-grade of Ivermectin. Ain't quite figured that one out, but you can get animal-grade anywhere. I don't know about you, but I don't think I want to go there. Now, the Ivermectin did a heck of a job for me and the wife. It kind of, as soon as it kicked in, that virus that we had just changed. Now, I have not been taking Ivermectin after the fact. Once I got through the original first stages of it. But there's a lot of people who chimed in on that episode. They said it was science drivel. And for you people that listen out there and have said it was science drivel for me trying a ivermectin that isn't approved by the FDA, you continue to do what you do, and I'll continue to do what I do. And if you say to me even once that, well, I've had the shot and therefore it was less, you don't know that. You're just assuming that. You have no idea if it was going to be less or going to be more. When I had the symptoms and I took ivermectin, I didn't notice a change until I started taking the mectin, and I took it preemptively. So don't tell me, you guys, you naysayers, you people out there that want to blind sheep into this. Instead of trying something, you're trying what the FDA says, and that's a bottle of Robitussin in a bed. Well, Robitussin in a bed killed some relatives of mine. So we're not going there. We're not going to go there even the least bit. So if you're listening, again, you take your Robitussin, you do what the medical science says, and I will do the medical science and then some, because it isn't going to hurt you to take it. There are no big side effects other than your $298 cheaper from 7 Cells in your wallet. 7 Cells is where I've got my product from. And they still have it, but their prices are going up on a daily basis because I think now people are starting to understand it's kind of working. We are still fighting that battle at the state here in Minnesota about the Right to Try Act, and some of these doctors are still following what, well, their employers are telling them to do, even though they believe in the product. And again, belief and faith is a pretty big thing. They will not allow them to prescribe it. Shame on them. Shame on them, completely shame on them. All right, where was I going with this? Ivermectin, took the shot. Nope, didn't take the shot. Not against the shot, just not a shot kind of guy. Not for this, not yet. People have taken the shot, and they say they swear by it. I've taken ivermectin, and I kind of swear by it. So who are you going to believe? The people that got it and then took the medication, or are you going to believe the people that got COVID and took the shot and never had it without the medication? Think about that dichotomy there. You get the shot and you say, well, if I wouldn't have gotten the shot, it would have been better. Really? How do you know? Again, how would you know that? Because you've never got it without the shot. Well, I got COVID without the shot. And I took something else that wasn't prescribed by the FDA, the Fauci's, the whoever's of the world. I did take that ivermectin. It seemed to work for me. Still here, still podcasting. You're still listening to me. But chime in again. Chime in, you guys out east that had the problem with science drivel, end quote. There's a lot of people that listen to the show. There's a lot of countries that have ivermectin. I saw it in an airport once. The maintenance pack, ivermectin, and some other couple chemicals that were sold right in a vending machine in an airport, in a picture. I saw it in a picture. I wasn't there, but I did see it in a picture, and I thought, okay, this country believes in it. Ours don't. The government can't control you if they don't control your medical. They can't control you if they don't control your seeing habits, your buying habits. Saul Alinsky, what did he say? Control the media, control the people. Even if it is on Hatebook, Twitter, Twanger, Dinger, Danger, Donger, or whoever, whatever you listen to. I don't know if I can trust any of them. All I can trust is me. You're listening to me. I don't know if you can trust me. Can you trust me? You're listening. I'm kind of giving you the different type of straight poop here that here's what I did. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's what it was. So you can either listen to it as a direct and take it from me, again, opinion piece, or you can trust the science and it's their opinion piece. I don't know. It might not work for you. It might work for you. You got a medical doctor, talk to them. They're going to tell you all what the FDA says to do, what the CDC says to do. There's plenty of doctors out there that are being silenced. They're being canceled because they're telling you what the CDC don't want you to hear, what Fauci don't want you to know. I only pick on Fauci because I don't have anybody else to pick on. He's kind of the guy that is in the front line. This is what he's getting paid to get his ass kicked. He was getting paid with Trump. He's getting paid with Biden. And here he is getting paid. while the rest of us trust the science. I love it. I love these people. One of the guys who chimed in on a hate message. Good for you. I don't mind the hate messages. It kind of grounds me. You said to me, I trust the science. I believe. So I text back to him. I says, do you believe? Are you Catholic? Are you Protestant? What are you? I don't believe in religion. Oh, okay. So you believe Fauci, you believe the CDC, you believe the United States government, but you will not believe in a God, or your God, or a God like yours? Yep, you calibrated me with that one. You, sir, are a fool. You are a complete fool. You got to believe in something. You believe in the science. Good for you. Well, I kind of happen to believe in both. And if you have a different God, then I let you believe in your God. I am not your God czar. Neither is Fauci. Neither is the United States government or any other government in which you seek refuge in. So believe it when I tell you. I actually had some fun with some of these comments this time. I wanted to reach out to you, the rest of the people, and let you know what kind of happened. Listening to these people, I absolutely loved it. I loved sending the hate mail. I'm okay with that because now you're listening. I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change mine, but at least you're hearing me, and I am at least hearing you. I enjoy these conversations away from the mic. But if you're going to believe in science and not believe in some type of a greater being than yourself, you're part of the problem, not the solution. Or you choose to pick. I mean, that's okay. You choose to pick who you believe in, but your faith is misaligned. Think about that. You have a misaligned faith. You have a faith in someone who tells you something, but you don't have a faith in what the good book tells you, or what the Quran tells you, or whatever your Bible tells you. And you tell everybody, I'm agnostic. Good for you. So I had to just kind of share this with you. And again, I know you people who listen to me. Some guys we got a bunch of messages from some machine shop here in town in Minneapolis. They said we're kind of slacking. You're right, we were slacking. We're going to go reach out to you guys. Thank you for listening. I know you listen to machines all day, and you get to finally listen to something other than my useless drivel. End quote from out east. But sometimes you just got to kick back and say, really? Has anybody thought about what they're really saying? Because I don't get it. I'm still on that page of, if it works for you, you should do it. Back to that question. I took the shot, so it could have been worse. Well, there's a faith statement. It's as faith as it gets. How do you know? I didn't take the shot, and it wasn't all that bad. It wasn't all that good. I'm still, lingering on these symptoms, but I'd still rather have this than the flu. Think about that for a second. And I'm not a full faith kind of guy, but I'm not an anti-faith guy. And I don't believe that the government should be substituting their faith for mine. But that statement in itself, you should really think about how you say that in the world. So I'm beating you up out east. You have it coming. You've earned this. You know who you are. Not going to say names. I'll protect you. I will do something that you ain't doing for yourself, and I'll protect you of your ideology ways that are just wrong. Okay. What are we? We're 12 minutes, 15 seconds into this segment. I've covered all I need to cover about these symptoms. I want to make sure that you all understand this is not about a political ideology of medical whatevers. If you have something that works for you, you should really stick with it. Don't be afraid to go out and ask questions, to be your advocate. I know I've said this in the past. It's been on another episode. Be your own advocate. Be your father's advocate if he's sick in a nursing home or if he's wherever that is. Be your mother's advocate. Be your uncles, your aunts, just pay attention. Common sense, again, is not that common because you can't you can't get any good intel. I don't know if the intel you're getting from me is good. I'm giving you what happened to me, not science. I mean, I don't know if, ivermectin's the magic pill or not. I don't believe it can be. I don't believe it shouldn't be, but it is. It did something for me. And again, don't forget, there's human grade and there's animal grade. I told you a little bit earlier here that there's a big difference. Well, it certainly is in price. I mean, you just go out and shop the two together. You can get animal stuff anywhere. You can buy like 500 kilograms of whatever for $1.05. I don't know if I want to trust my butt to that. Even they say it's approved for human and animal use, but it doesn't mean they're manufactured in the same way. So for me, I'll spend a little extra and know that I'm not swallowing some kind of another virus that's created by the first virus that was drug on by the virus before that. Ugh. I can't even begin to keep up to the crap in that. So, if you're asking my opinion, ivermectin, the human-made version, it's been a kind of an eye-opener for me. Right here, we are 14 minutes and 43 seconds into this. I know I got kind of sideways on that. Podcast is going to return with, you got it, what I said in pre-roll, GoFundMe. The GoFundMe thing. Stand by, Hutcast. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Now a word from our sponsors. Today's sponsor in part by Excel Roofing. Excel Roofing, they do it all. Roofs, siding, framing. You need a house? Give Excel a call. I've used these guys personally in the past, have a professional crew. They're conscious of your job, and they want to produce the finest quality of craftsmanship available. Excel Roofing, 763-712-0757. Again, 763-712-0757. Excel Roofing, Dayton, Minnesota.
Welcome back to Hutcast. As I said in pre-roll, we're going to have a conversation about this GoFundMe thing. Now, if you're not familiar with GoFundMe, it is an organization designed, I don't even know if it's a 503c or what it is. I guess I didn't do that research, and I don't really care. But they are a designed company to take money from everyone else and give it to a certain person who is in need. Now, I'm the kind of guy, I get that. And it makes a perfect lot of sense to me. Try and get a bunch of people to give a little bit, which means nothing to them. You give away 10, 15, 20 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever it is you give. But if you get so many people doing it to the people that need it, it's kind of like a volunteer, UNICEF, but you're more directly related to it, and you only got UNICEF dollars taking it out of there and administration fees. And it's supposed to be, if you read the website, which I did, a direct pass-through. Well, I don't know if it's a direct pass-through. I believe that there's some grabbing going on there on the way through, at least. So let's say if you give somebody $100, they get that full 100, but it's delayed by a month or 2 or 3 or whatever. In the meantime, they take that $100 and they apply it to a money market or a short term or whatever it is, and they gather that money for 2 or 3 months. And hence how they make their profits to stay online, to get their money, to keep their servers going, just to keep business operating. Yeah, I mean, no one works for free, and even free companies don't work for free. But I think they've got kind of a niche. But here's why I'm upset with GoFundMe. GFME. GoFundMe. GoFund all the hoopla. I don't want to ride the news crest wave of Elon Musk taking pot shots at GoFundMe for taking down the money that was given to the truckers in Canada. But I do want people to know I have had some firsthand experience at this. Now, if you remember back when Dante Wright got shot by Kim Potter. There was a friend of theirs that started a GoFundMe, and GoFundMe decided at that point in time that they weren't going to allow this because poor Dante got shot by Kim, and that's not in dispute. He was killed. That's the way it is. It was an accident. That's my official findings on my side. But GoFundMe wanted to pick a side on that. The people that started this for Kim's defense, and if you listen to her defense attorney, they couldn't have gotten a worse attorney. That guy, I'm not on his page. I commend him for starting and trying and doing, but he didn't have it. He couldn't convince me of the wrongdoing, and it was an accident deal. So moving forward, they started this page. Facebook told the guy who set it up and says, you are not going to have this Facebook page for GoFundMe. He says, why? Well, because Kim's the aggressor, not the victim. Well, I kind of see it as they were all victims here. One had a gun, one had reaching into his car for his gun, whatever he was doing, he should have just not panicked, not freaked out, and he'd still be alive today. So this company decided to pick a side. This ain't the first time they've done this. Remember in Wisconsin? Remember my Kyle Rittenhouse one where they wanted to get one going for him, and because he shot these poor, defenseless, helpless white guys, the man buns, I roll a skateboard, I drink a growler type of guys with the open toe sandal, hemp wearing t-shirt pukes. These pukes who even testified for him. Kyle Rittenhouse, they testified for him. And if you watch that trial, I'm still in awe on that. All I can say is if I get in trouble, I want that judge in Milwaukee. I want that guy. So they decided to cancel his too. So here we have 2 cancellations because it didn't fit their agenda. It didn't fit the agenda of GoFundMe. Well, go to the website. I did. I went through it. I checked it out. I read this long-ass, boring terms of use, terms of service, and it does not say not a single thing about what your agenda is, what their agenda is, what the agenda you should or shouldn't post. So here's why I called this weaponizing. Saul Alinsky, I'm quoting him again, control the media, control the people. This company, which I think has a great idea, again, very niche-y, they did a great job of helping people that need help, provided they choose the people who need the help. Now, it doesn't say that my friend can't start an account for Kim Potter because she needs defense money and moving money and all this cancel culture crap that's going on with her. They didn't say you couldn't do that. So he started one. Then they decided, you can't do that. It's not right. Wait a minute now. I read their terms of service. Get started in 5 easy steps. Support people that need help. Until we decide you don't want to. That's what I'm seeing. So here we go with this company. They have now picked a side. They have picked a side of, we will decide whether or not you're worthy of our service. We will decide whether or not your cause is good enough for us to fund this, to make this work. Or they're not even funding it, to hold the money so they can make money on your money. Look at it as a whole. A company takes your money, gives it to somebody else, months, days, weeks later, whatever the discharge amount is. I've never had that side of it, so I don't know what the delay time is. I've given to this company for people, and they will decide whether or not it's worthy of their efforts. What do you think? No politics there? It sure sounds like they weaponized it. They weaponized this giving policy, this giving thing that I thought was a pretty good idea, until the truckers thing. You guys following that? Trudeau? You paying attention to what's going on up in Canada? It's happening here. We just had our other different crap sandwiches. It's just crap a sandwich with lutefisk on it versus, I don't know, what do they eat up in Canada? I don't know. But they did this. This company decided to choose for you what you can and can't give. So in my book, you're not worthy. You're not worthy of taking this money to give to somebody. It's not even begin with what's right there. If you're going to do this for somebody, there are no strings attached. They can't decide their political agenda meets yours, and if it don't, then we're canceling you. That's a cancel culture tactic. And I hope they hang for it. I hope they get investigated, because now you got the attention of some people who do write laws, who set policy in our states, who set policy in our government, and they're going to say, hey, GoFundMe, why do you get to decide this when you should have a complete blind eye to politics, ideology, blah, 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 and you don't. So they hosed Kyle. They hosed Kim. They're hosing the truckers. And the truckers, that particular one, they got like $10-some million. It was a huge, huge number. And they wanted to decide they were going to keep the money. They were going to put it out to qualified charities they saw fit, because they weren't going to give it back until someone stepped in with an injunction, says you're going to give it all back, or we're going to have a problem with you. So then those guys back down and says, oh, okay, yeah, we'll give it back. We're sorry. We didn't mean to do it. Not what they meant to do it. That's the totalitarianism that Dan Bongino talks about, that Tucker Carlson talks about. Take your pick. They have now weaponized that program to you, which I thought was a pretty good program. You picked a side, GoFundMe. You've picked it. We ain't forgetting. One thing we have is ultra conservatives, or just normal conservatives, is we have an excellent memory, and we will use your tactics against you. We will cancel you. Trying to cancel Joe Rogan. I really want to talk about that in the second segment, but I didn't want to get into it too deep. I'll cover that in another episode. It's all over the news. The GoFundMe on that. Oh, yeah. Let's see where that lands. I think Joe's going to have a little bit of an ass whooping for those guys. But the GoFundMe guys. So when you see this on there, you people, everybody out there has a little voice. And each little voice builds to a bigger voice. If you just keep putting in your 2 cents on Hatebook, on Twitter, on Dinger Donger, whatever you're listening to and working on, you keep putting in your 2 cents, I guarantee someone's listening to it. If I put something on a post that shows 10 people, and those 10 people see it, 9 agree, now you got 9 times the total of me saying the same thing. Saying the same thing. Said it? It's like that Pert commercial. I told 2 people. They told 2 people. By the time you know it, you've got all these people paying attention to the same thing. Again, this is not political. This is ideological. So just chime in once in a while. If you're paying attention, if you get into that, if you don't, some of these guys who don't want to engage in the news, I get it, it sucks. But the difference between engaging in the news and engaging online is you kind of have a say online, even though you're saying it to the choir, you're preaching to the choir. If you watch Channel 5 or 9 or ABC or NBC, you can watch all day long. You can't say nothing unless you want to get on their tweet site and start tweeting stuff. You can only control you and your environment to a certain amount. When that control is gone, when you become just the viewer, the voyeur in the news, it becomes the problem. You can't be just a voyeur. You have to be active. Even if you have a barbershop and you're just one guy who tells one guy, hey, this is wrong. You now told that one guy. Instead of hollering at the TV saying, that's bull crap. Well, the TV don't care. but you've changed someone's life if you tell someone. And if they tell somebody, etc. Engage people. I cannot stress that enough. Engage in this. Engage in the no, we will not give to a weaponized company such as GoFundMe. Weaponized companies. Let's talk about that for a second. Again, I didn't want to get into the Joe Rogan thing. But this company picked the path. The company that Joe Rogan was part of, the Neil, whatever his name is, back in the 70s, who cares, Neil Young shit. He says, he made a choice to tell you that you take my music off if you don't take Joe's off. That was an attempted coup of a takeover of hijacking your company's, your motto, your model. How'd that work for him? Joe Rogan don't care. The guy gets stoned, has conversations about UFOs and whatever, and he just hangs out and talks about stuff, and people listen to him. All because Neil says, well, he's spreading disinformation about it. So am I. Am I spreading disinformation? I told you Ivermectin worked. I told you it worked. I'm living proof of what it did for me, and I'm telling you that without the news, without the bias, without the, hey, I didn't know if it was going to work or not. I had absolutely zero expectations other than, okay, it did work. Now, why aren't people listening? So Joe, they want to cancel him. They ain't going to cancel him. Spotify is not going to dump the biggest, largest podcast guy on the planet because Neil Young has an opinion. And I think there's some other actresses, singers that were jumping into that. You know, if you don't do this, then I'm gonna not do it. I'm gonna tell you to take my music. Yoko Ono, she says, if you don't take Joe Rogan off, I'm gonna put my music on Spotify. Okay. I would have canceled Joe at that point because I don't want to hear Yoko Ono's crap. There's a little humor there. So here we are, listening to this crap. What have you made it? What is your mind made up of? Do you believe in that? Do you think that Neil Young, has been washed up nothing, is going to tell Spotify how to operate? And pay attention to this, people, because this is kind of the first one in this event of series. You get Neil doing it to Spotify. Then what if you get so-and-so for Hatebook? Oh, wait, they did that. Mark Zuckerberg did that. He canceled the president because someone didn't like his tweets. But this is a little smaller scale. This is not government. This is entertainment. They tried to do that to Joe. I'm kind of optimistic that these people who do that are going to get their butt kicked bad, and I'm okay with it. And they should be okay with it too, because they picked the venue. Joe picked the fight. Okay, he'll fight you, and you'll lose. I tried to get on the Joe Rogan show, or have him on my show, and maybe not. I don't think everybody goes on Joe. Don't go on anybody's show. You just go on Joe. Maybe if you're listening, Joe, and you do get to hear on this, I'm with you. I catch you. I wish Neil Young would cancel his music because of my podcast, because then, boy, that would be kind of a big thing as far as my ratings. My ratings are through the roof. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the ratings. Unbelievable. The Mercy Medical Center debacle has gone to number 1 in my charts. Huge. A lot of local stuff, of course. Nothing national. Sorry, national guys. But if you're having the same stuff that you do, that I did, then you get it. It's not just in your area. It's everybody. It's everywhere. So that's what's kind of going on my side of the world. I can't believe for life of me that people are so shallow, so jaded, one-sided, polarized by the amount of people who think that we care enough of what Neil Young thinks about Joe Rogan's podcast. I'm a moment of silence is just, what do you say? And on top of this, when we started out this conversation in this second half of cancel culture via weaponized companies, I don't believe for the life of me again that this should even be a thing. If you want to GoFundMe, according to their webpage, you could go fund Toe Jam if that's what you wanted to do. Unless we say we don't like it. Going to set a precedent with those guys. If I had some Trump's money, or if I had some Elon Musk money, I think I would start my own YouFundYou.com, or whatever the antonym of you GoFundMe means. I'm sure there's some other guys out there doing it, but you know, when you're the first, you're the biggest, you're kind of hard to break. Start that up. Look that over. Let's do that. And truly make sure that we stick true to our beliefs. Because your belief is important to you, and mine isn't going to affect yours, nor should yours affect mine. My beliefs on how we should do that. I was completely disappointed in GoFundMe when they took down Kyle's. I was completely disappointed when they took down Kim's. And then when they took down the truckers. Holy cow. Really? So what's the point of you? What is the company motto now? All right, enough of this ranting crap. I'm almost 19 minutes and 30 seconds into this spew. I didn't expect it to be quite so long. However, we plan to have another senator back on the show here. He's getting some materials ready. He's talking about the omnibus bill in Minnesota. We're hoping that we can get a clear, accurate shot of what's going on there. He has picked some sides on some things. He's also reviewing and co-authoring the William Shakestead bill for the Right to Try Act. I'm going to probably contact him here after the show and see how it's going with that, and if it's gotten any written up. But I'm kind of jazzed on that. We'll see if there's any teeth in this, and how our policy makers, our policy setters, are going to now have some information to control these huge medical organizations. And when I say control, I mean by breaking the law, if you're a medical organization, by not allowing the Right to Try Act. Oh yeah, it's coming. They're coming for you. Hang on to your surgical trays, because this is going to happen. So anyway, Hutcast here is greatly appreciated for all the stuff out east you guys chimed in on. Please send some more of that hate mail. I'm more than okay with that. And for the people who didn't send hate mail, I'm preaching to the choir. Thank you. I absolutely appreciate the fact that you're listening. Sorry, guys, across the pond and across the oceans, we didn't get much to talk about anything global today. But it's maybe this little bit of information here could help you in your area. So 21 minutes, 24 seconds into this segment, Hutcast is signing off on this glorious Sunday. Peace be with you. And I will be, I'll try and be back next week with some better intel on this craziness in this world. Hutcast signing off. Be well.
And that's a wrap for Hutcast. Hutcast is, again, a pragmatic approach to seeing things how some people see them. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook site. Again, for Hutcast, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.